I'm just basically a casual belt collector. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert, but what I do have are various editions of this Winged Eagle Championship, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. Because to me, this is the title that I grew up on. This is the title that I love the best design. This is a classic 80s into the 90s title held by almost every great wrestler that I grew up watching. When I see this belt, I think of Hogan, Savage, Warrior, Bret Hart, Yokozuna, Shawn Michaels. I mean, the list just goes on and on. Lots of lineage to this World Heavyweight Championship. But there are variations of this title on the WWE Shop, because this is where I got this particular, this is a dual-plated Winged Eagle. Now, I attended WrestleMania 31, and that's where I bought my first wrestling championship. And we're going to take a look at that one versus this one. What are the differences? Are you in the market for a belt? Maybe you want to see the differences between the belts. Well, that's what this video is going to do, so stay tuned. Before we continue this video, I need to show you guys what's behind me. First of all, we have these wrestling belts. I'm not really a fan of the cruiserweight, but I love that belt design, so I got that one. And then the Intercontinental next to the blue Universal Championship, the red Universal Championship, WCW version of the World Heavyweight Championship, as well as the Warrior belt. But I'm a huge No Holds Barred fan. Unfortunately, I don't know why I like that movie so much, probably because I grew up on it. This belt was featured heavily in No Holds Barred as the World Heavyweight Championship in that film. So now you see why I'm filming this. I want to show you guys this. It's important, if you keep your belts in a display case for security purposes, to add these locks. They only cost $7 or $8 each. I got them on Amazon. And they will actually do the job and lock. But one thing you do need, in addition to receiving these locks, you will need a drill. Because in order to do these IKEA cabinets, I had to measure and drill out the hole that goes along the top for these to lock into. That's a self-drilled hole up there that I drilled in order to be able to lock these cabinets. And they work like a charm. And I'm a nerd, so I labeled all of my keys so I would have quick access to the right key to the right lock, since I have about 10 or 12 of these cabinets in the house. Same with this one. And there's number 5. So just as an added little thing here on the video, I would encourage you to buy these locks if you either have kids or if you want to protect your collectibles. A lock is a must. Somebody breaks in your house, these belts would be gone, I'm sure. So the first major difference we're going to see in these belts is the bag that I received them in. This one I bought. This is my first belt that I ever bought. I got it at WrestleMania 31 here in Santa Clara, California. And right off the bat, you can see it's a Winged Eagle replica, but they used the 2014 WWE logo. So unfortunately, this is a classic belt with an updated logo on the bag. So the belt bag right off the bat is kind of sketchy. Kind of weird. Old belt, new logo. That's a mismatch. That's the first difference in these belts. I'll start on this end. This thing is actually pretty heavy. It is a replica. They do not make commemorative versions of this belt, at least that I don't know of, not officially. It's a gorgeous belt.
Gorgeous.
But one thing I noticed right away after I bought it and was watching some old WrestleManias was, hey, this was not the belt. It did not look like that in certain times. I noticed the difference in the belts between the dual-plated, which they used on TV, especially for the Macho Man, and then this one. Didn't look quite right. You see the unfortunate WWE champion, and not F as it should be. That's one thing. And I don't think they quite got the color scheme right on the blue. I don't remember the blue being so bright on the belt back then. And also, it's hard to pick up on camera, but the gold itself is a little darker than you would see in the actual wrestling belts on TV. But this is the first release of the Winged Eagle. And I have now flipped it over. You can see It's official WWE Replica 2013. As for the belt bag on this Winged Eagle dual plated, the first thing you'll notice is they got the logo right, minus the F. But this is the retro 80s WWF logo. So this part is correct. The bag material is also different. This is more of a felt type bag. It's a more heavy duty bag versus the old bag that I just displayed from the 2013 one, which was more of a burlap type, cheaper bag. So we're starting out here. It has the same amount of these belt buttons on it. One quick thing you notice right away, dual plated means this is not gold entirely. It has the gold and the silver on there, which makes this thing pop a little bit better than the one I just showed you. And coming along here, these are detached. And you can see what a difference it makes. Now this looks like the belt that we would see on TV in the 80s. And I'm not exactly sure until I put these side by side. This for sure pops up more. I believe this is a different shape as well versus the other belt that I have. Continuing along, same thing as the other side, more dual plates. Unfortunately, WWE, not F champion, and I still have that encased in some plastic just because I like to keep my stuff nice and clean. So now we're going to try a little experiment. This is out of just curiosity here. I know they have the weights listed on the belts and the description on the WWE Shop, but I want to see if these are the same weight, dual plated, or if see if there's a difference. So right now I have just a plain 2013 original one, and it clocks in at 5.2 pounds. Take this guy off, swap it out, see if the dual plated one weighs more, less, or the same. It feels a little bit heavier to the touch. Let's see what it says. Oh yeah, 5.8. So if you're going for if you're into the heavier, more accurate belts, then I would go with this one. What we're gonna do now, take a look side by side. I have the Winged Eagles side by side, just so you can see the differences. If you're in the market for a belt, which one you would prefer. Again, the more screen accurate, if you will, one would be the dual plated one. Comes with a little heftier price tag though. You can see the difference in these belts and the quality. And both of these were used at one point or another. Both these styles, both the dual plated was used more in the 80s, and more the single plated was used in the 90s. But here are your two Winged Eagle, dual plated and regular Winged Eagle Wrestling Championship. So one other thing that I didn't touch on too was this. If you look at the actual belt here on the plate, heavyweight is in gold. Come down to this one, heavyweight is in black. And here they are. 11 pounds of gold right here, almost 12. All right, everybody. Well, that's going to do it here on the channel for this episode. Looking back at these two belts, if you are fortunate enough to be able to get both, I would say for sure, yeah, both would be great to own. However, if you are only able to purchase one, I would say this would be the better one to go with. It's detailed a little bit better. It pops a little bit better. I mean, it stands out a little bit better than this one. This one, it's not dull or anything, but compared to this one, you can for sure see the difference between the two belts. Till next time, guys, to quote one of my favorites, Gorilla Monsoon, so long, everybody.
I have to live with this. It's not easy, folks, believe me. Until next week, Gorilla Monsoon for this piece of work here. Oh, good night, everybody.